And there's that first reveal of the gingerbread men. This is going to sound very weird if you haven't seen this movie.
It's like every nightmare that you ever had. But a bit like an anti-Mary Poppins.
You go.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit by the fire. I'll keep the fire stoking.
You think, oh, la, and then it's like, la.
It was a jangle.
Rather than a jingle.
Hey, welcome to a seasonal special of Screen Time.
Welcome.
Hope everyone's having a lovely break at the moment. Mm-hmm. We've decided to watch something Christmassy.
Something Christmassy.
Kind of.
It's
Christmassy.
It's Christmassy, but with a dark
twist.
edge to it. Yeah.
One I haven't seen.
Yes, I had seen this, and I thought it would be quite a good one to talk about. So be prepared for Krampus.
It's beginning to look
I'll talk plot with Krampus, yeah. It starts off with lovely Christmassy music, but you know it's going to have an edge to it because the opening scene is like the opening of the store and people come pouring into the store and they're climbing over people, they're fighting over stuff. It's absolute chaos, you know. This movie's going to have an edge. It's going to be saying something. It's going to be really like dark.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's wonderful. And this is where you're kind of introduced to the family a little bit because there's a nativity going on in the store and the son is being attacked by some kid. It's all done in slow motion to this. And then there's the sister with her phone like videoing it and smiling and grinning and stuff.
It's beginning to look a lot like...
And so you're introduced to them and then they get home and you've got the grandmother cooking, being very traditional in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And what I found about this movie is that they've shot it very much like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. The house is all decked out beautifully. It's beautiful, sort of set out. So it has that feel initially of it being like this really traditional Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's cozy.
Mm-hmm. It's set up like that. And then there's bits in it where you're like, oh, hang on, this is going another route.
It's Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Hey, sis, Merry Christmas.
Gosh, I'm so glad you guys could make
You
it.
have no idea.
It's when the relatives arrive.
Yes, but also the son.
Yeah.
The son is being encouraged to write his list to Santa.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, his grandmother is saying, have you written your list yet? Have you written your list? And when the family arrive, they spot that he has that Santa list.
That's what kicks it off, really, isn't it?
We know you still believe in the big fat creeper. I don't know what you're talking about. You sure about that?
The relatives come in and immediately
Aunt
Dorothy comes in and the mum isn't expecting her to turn out. And she's such a good character. She's just so like over it.
She's over it. She's so unimpressed,
Yeah.
which would make it incredibly difficult on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
you're having to host.
So what kind of godforsaken concoction are you whipping up now? You know how this fancy food clogs my pipes.
Aunt Dorothy walks through and she goes, oh, Martha Stewart threw up in here because it's all so twinkly and lovely. But there's some really dark bits in it. Did you notice when the mother gets she asks her daughter to hang up the photo that has just been taken at the mall, because obviously they all sat down with Santa. And they hang up the photo, and then when she sort of looks at the photo again, she sort of does this. And she looks at the daughters. The daughter's got a face on her, and none of them are that happy apart from her. But then she looks down at Santa, and Santa's checking out the daughter.
Yes.
It's like going like this. It's like, oh my God. And she's like, oh no, like this. So you know that there's going to be some edge to this film.
I hadn't seen this before. I really didn't know what to expect. Yeah. You're right. As soon as those doors opened and it was a store and it's just absolute chaos, I really enjoyed that aspect because Christmas always gets painted as being so beautiful. You've got lights, it's cozy, it's warm, but actually, you know, buying presents around Christmas time can be utter nightmare. And no matter how much you organise yourself, there's always a moment, well, I always find there's always a moment where you have to do that last minute shop.
Yeah.
And you get caught in that.
Yeah, you get caught in it.
And you're sweating and
Yeah.
you're stressed.
Yeah.
I loved the fact that it showed that because, again, it wasn't it wasn't sickly sweet.
No.
It's just showing the other side of Christmas that movies don't tend to depict.
It's almost like the reality of Christmas.
Yeah.
In some ways, it's a little bit like Jingle All the Way when they're fighting over what toy to get the kid and
Yes.
stuff. But I think when you're seeing the transaction of money and everyone fighting over these various things, and what the shot I loved was like the store attendants just sitting there with their Santa hats on, just like.
I think in
so
some
bored.
ways we have sort of like a Stockholm syndrome with regards to Christmas.
Agreed.
Because you forget that there's all those aspects to it, and then you come around to the year again and you're like, oh, it's not that bad. And then you find yourself in this queue that's just going like this all the way out the store. You know, it is a bit like that.
We're introduced to the family. What really kicks it off is where one of the nieces or the cousins takes this letter and starts reading it out. And this letter's really lovely. It's sort of like, please look after my mum, look after my mum and dad don't love each other anymore.
I wish my mom and dad could fall in love again. I know they get upset a lot with dad away from home so much. I think they really just miss each other.
It's adorable because it's not about things and material things that he wants. He wants his mother and father to be happy again, like they used to be, and he wants them to be a family again.
He's aching for a Christmas that was in the past.
Yeah, and also when they come back from the store, from the mall, one of the first things he says is, aren't we going to watch that show that we used to watch, or aren't we going to wrap presents to this music, or something like that. It's looking back to the past, and you just know that things have changed.
I thought you said you weren't working over Christmas.
I said no traveling over Christmas. I still have to take a few calls. Hey, Roger, what's up?
Wait, guys, aren't we still gonna watch Charlie Brown and wrap Christmas presents like always?
Don't you think, though, that Christmas is a bit like that? When you said we have this sort of memory of Christmas, and every year we kind of go through this thing, but it's almost like we're trying to capture that magic that maybe we had when we were children.
Yeah.
Because Christmas for us was just like this memory of just joy.
Yeah, I think when you were young, things seemed so much bigger.
Yeah.
So I think Christmas, when I look back to Christmas, it was just like like this, you know, lots of presents and things like that. And also there was that magic aspect as well of something that, you know, you thought was real, and obviously it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually a bit traumatic.
It is traumatic when you suddenly realise that actually that's all
Magic doesn't exist.
Yeah. And it's just like, and it's a real knockdown, isn't it? This poor kid, he gets his letter gets read out, and it exposes his vulnerabilities and everything, and so he gets really angry. He gets a letter and he rips it up and throws it out the window. So he's almost like given up on all of this, and that's when the movie turns. And these shreds of paper, a bit like an anti-Mary Poppins. This paper flies up into the sky, and instead of Mary Poppins arriving, Krampus arrives.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I liked Krampus in that you didn't really get a full idea of what Krampus was.
Yeah.
If I had to draw, which I'm terrible at drawing, so if I tried to draw it, it probably wouldn't look like it anyway. But, you know, in my mind, I can't really imagine what actually Krampus looks like. And I liked that.
Yeah, it was
because
kind
it
of
was
very
all
much
hidden and mysterious, but you knew it wasn't. It was quite ugly.
It was the claws and the hood.
Yes, but he
then
had horns as well.
He had these big horns and hoofs. What is good about it is that they're very restrained, and it's a good into the last, I would say, quarter of the film before all the creatures start showing up. There's that really slow build. The sets are fantastic in this. The snow sets are wonderful out on the street and everything.
You really get that sense that if you go outside, you are in trouble.
Yeah.
It felt so cold.
Yeah.
You know, as they're going through snow that's, you know, kind of hip deep.
Yes.
I would be like, you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit by the fire. I'll keep the fire stoking.
Yeah. So basically the film then turns into, would you say, almost like a slasher movie? not so graphic, obviously.
Yeah,
but
you don't have the gore.
You don't have the gore, but people get taken down.
People disappear, and to be honest, when the first one happened, I was thinking they'll be back. We'll see them again.
Yeah.
But we didn't. It's this kind of Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Because every time you go back into the house, for a moment, you know, while the fire is on, it's safe.
It's safe, yeah.
It's pretty. You still have that cozy aspect that still makes you think it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But actually, it gets very, very dark. One thing that jolted me slightly, and I wasn't sure whether I was accepting it or not, was Krampus for me felt like he was a very physical, solid character. So, you know, I mean, not human, but a physical character.
Yeah.
And then when the scene comes where people are being taken up the chimney, through the chimney, and there's that first reveal of the gingerbread men. This is going to sound very weird if you haven't seen this movie. There's an animated gingerbread man who's like going like this and being quite violent.
Yeah.
But it's animated. And it kind of jolted me because I was like, oh, I wasn't actually expecting something to be so sort of cartoony.
Okay. So
it felt cartoony.
Yeah.
And it jolted me because I thought I was in a real world. And that just felt, the expressions and everything.
Were they too exaggerated?
They felt exaggerated too soon. I think the jump from real life to that.
So do you think if they'd have introduced some of the other characters first, you'd have felt better about it?
The other characters made me think of Labyrinth.
Yeah,
you know, with the hard hats and the.
It was a gory kind of Jim Henson kind of production, wasn't it?
I agree. I think if those came then next. Before the gingerbread, then I would have bought into that. There was a scene where the grandmother was talking about her past and how she knew about Krampus, and then it went into full-on animation.
Which is a lovely sequence.
And because I'd seen the gingerbread men, I could then accept it.
The hope that we could find joy again. But our village had given up on miracles.
Because it was the next step.
Okay.
Do you know what?
No, I get you.
Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes visuals can
knock you out.
Yeah. And you think, oh, I didn't realise it was that kind of movie.
Yeah.
But that was beautifully done. I mean, the designs and the things of the characters. I mean, some of the things that they came across were so obscure.
It's like every nightmare that you ever had. It's like Victorian doll faces and
something like It, the clown of It. It made me think of the clown of It.
Yeah, with like a predator mouth almost. There's a lot of imagination in the film, and I think what shocked me about the film is that, I mean, it went to places that I didn't think it would go. I honestly thought that they would make it through in some ways, a lot of the characters. And it's like, oh my God, they're taking... And when they took the grandmother, I'm like, oh, I thought she'd be, the hero of this piece.
I loved the grandmother. And it was interesting with the grandmother because you kind of got a sense that she sort of knew what was going on. Like she was just sitting by that fire the entire time. And just constantly putting the logs on, and you could think, oh, it's just because she's older, she wants to stay warm, but you could get a sense that she's like, I've done this before.
Yeah, it's like she was really like, yeah, I know what's coming.
I think the other family, I mean, the movie in itself, it represents how, in some ways, you feel at Christmas. You go to family, not all families get on. It's this one time of year where everyone is sort of pushed together in sometimes social situations which you don't feel comfortable, you know, you have to just make do for a few days, and that is very much resembled here.
Yeah.
It's not the typical Christmas movie which shows everybody getting on and they're all having a lovely meal.
Yeah.
It shows the opposite side, which we all can relate to in some form or another. And when that family arrive, it's exactly that. And you automatically are made to feel like you don't like this family because of the way they interact with that young boy. It's very cruel what they do with the letter. But then as the movie progresses, those sort of tough, hard parts of their character are actually what sort of wins them over for you in some way.
That's right.
Because they become so strong.
Yeah, they become stronger.
Hey! Give me back my kids, you fudger!
When this trauma happens of Krampus, it's like it brings them all together. They become more unified than they were when they were meant to be having fun. And,
Exactly.
You know, and even Aunt Dorothy, what was her name?
Yeah.
Aunt Dorothy.
She's making drinks for the kids.
She's like, I don't, you know, and at the start she's like, oh, I'm not very good with kids. And then she's, you know, but then she's there with the baby at the end. She's like, you know, I'm looking at, shh, don't worry. And everyone starts to pull together. This is why it kind of reminds me a little bit of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, because their relatives arrived who are completely different to them. They're like a totally different, it's like a social classes thing, isn't it? It's like,
it is.
it's this like, oh God, they're so poor and they're so uncultured and so, you know, and the vice versa. The others, they're like, oh God, they're so up their own, you know, that kind of thing. And you can put a bleep in there.
I'll put a bleep in there. But you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It's very much like that. And then everyone becomes sort of level
Leveled out.
pegged and balanced.
Yeah.
And it because you have this character that you're all going for. And so it brings them together. But I think in some ways, by doing that, it actually brings out that festive, that Christmas, that family that you see in all the other movies and you feel in the other movies. Yeah. And you feel it for a different reason in this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's why it does work, even though it's super dark. There is an aspect to it where I wasn't too sure whether I was 100% happy or not.
About the film?
About the film.
Okay.
In that it feels wrong to say about the end of the movie. The feeling that I had about it ending, I was a bit like, would I have wanted that ending? Would I have wanted something a bit more like uplifting because it is a festive movie.
Give me back my family!
You're so used to festive movies coming around and being ending on a la rather than a la. Yeah. This was sort of midway, and then I thought, actually, it's quite good that it does that because it makes it different.
See, I like the fact that it ended, well, as the movie gets towards the end, you think, oh, la, and then it's la, and you're like, so it gives you that false like thing. You think, oh my God, it's all going to be okay.
Yes, exactly.
And the reveal happens, you're like, oh, that's clever. That's clever.
It's clever.
But also the kid gets what he wants.
Yes.
The kid gets what he wants out of the situation. He always wanted a Christmas where everyone is happy and they're all getting along like it used to be, and that's what he gets.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
I think we're so used to Christmas movies ending on such a high that
agreed.
when that moment changed, it was a bit of a shock in a way.
Yeah.
And I wasn't entirely sure how I felt about it because it didn't give me that Christmas, jingle. It was more of a jangle.
How does that feel? Just Christmas jingle, does that?
But yeah, it was a jangle.
Rather than a jingle.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think what's clever about Krampus is it is just about those characters.
And it's that house.
That house. they do go outside and they talk about town and they talk about other places, but you never see really anybody else. You see maybe a DHL guy.
Yeah, the DHL
for a
guy.
moment.
Yeah.
But everybody else, it's typical in this sort of neighbourhood. Everyone's flown to different locations.
Yes.
And so they're like, well, they would be there, but they're in Hawaii. Yeah, exactly. And so it is very confined, but you don't get bored.
Mom?
Honey, I'll be right back. I promise. Just lock the door.
It feels like there is a world beyond there.
Yeah.
In some ways, it feels like, you know, there's some movies where people can't get beyond certain boundaries. They're stuck. And it's like they will never get beyond there. And it kind of felt like this. It felt
and
like...
it also felt like it was shrinking as well.
And pulling them in and making them go to that house.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes movies can feel like it's done on the cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just think, oh, but they couldn't afford to do this.
Right, but this never really came into that, did it?
It never came into that. It felt like there was a big world, but they couldn't get there.
All of you, you have to go. Do you understand? Keep driving. Do you understand?
Because of the snow, because of the cold, because of the creatures that were under the ground.
Do you think that possibly, you know, the whole idea that you were saying about the isolation and feeling that things are moving in and there's like a boundary that's moving in, that kind of echoes what happens at the end of the movie anyway, and they're like...
Some ways, yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah, a dome.
It's a dome.
It's a dome.
They're trapped in there.
It's a dome, and also the
Just tell them what the end of the movie is. I love that scene though, because they're having such a great time, and then he opens up that box, and then they all recognise it. They all
Suddenly
kind of like recollect what's happened, and they're like, oh. Up to that point, you think, oh, it's been a dream. Yay!
Yeah, he's woken up.
He's woken up. They're all downstairs having eggnog and having a lovely time.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. And then it turns into Groundhog Day.
It does turn into Groundhog Day. This is true. Yeah, it's like, oh, here we go again. Yeah. Okay, so this was your first time watching Krampus. This is like my third time, I think, watching it. I'm not sure that I would say it's one of those movies that I would watch on a yearly basis, because it's not that kind of Christmas movie for me.
No, I think with Christmas movies, when I watch a Christmas movie, I'm usually putting the tree up. You want to get, but you want to get into the feel of Christmas, don't you? So you put something on. I mean, most of the Christmas movies I've seen so many times.
You don't even
so
have
I'll
to
put them on in the background, and I'll be putting my tree up. This is not one I would put on the background. It just doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
And it's not a comfort. And at Christmas, you want comfort, you want cozy, you want warmth, and it's not that at all. So I wouldn't put it as a go-to every year. I'm not sure how often I would watch this.
Probably not that much.
No,
for you.
I don't think so. School-wise, I think I'd give Krampus a 7.
Okay, oh, it was a solid 7.
Yeah.
For me, Krampus is like one of those films that is kind of like, it's a bit like Gremlins. Gremlins, see, the difference is though, for me, Gremlins is one that I would happily watch over and over again, because it does have a Christmas feel. It does have an uplift at the end, and it's like, it's cozy and it's fun, but it's got that malicious side to it. This, I just think it's a bit of a downbeat at the end. I mean, you never know. It might come back later on, and I might start to like to rewatch. I mean, as I said, I've watched it 3 times already, so it might be one of those things that maybe each Christmas I go, oh, maybe I'll pop Krampus on. So for me, I would score it, what did you give it?
7.
I would give it a 7 as well. It's a fun movie, it's a Christmas movie, but for me, it's not a go-to Christmas movie. So, so you know, there you go. If you haven't seen Krampus, check it out though, because it's really worth a watch. There's some great actors in it. I mean, Toni Collette's in it, for goodness sake, who's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you haven't seen Hereditary, you should also watch that as well, because she's amazing in that.
But that's not Christmassy at all.
But that's not Christmassy at all, and that's for another day. So
we just want to wish you a very happy holiday season.
Yep.
Have a fantastic holiday break.
Yep.
And and
we'll see you soon.
See you soon, and see you on the next one. If you have enjoyed this, please feel free to like and subscribe and send us any comments or any suggestions you'd like to see in the new year.
Yeah, absolutely. You take care of yourselves and thank you.
See you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.